Hello, Proxy Table Gaming fans, PTG, Hyper G, Lucky Sixes.
Yo.
Simple, effective. I like it. Great.
Yeah, it's like a yeah. I think that's more trademark. Out of all, you go back and look. I think yo, or yo,
Yeah.
possibly a third yo, are all in there.
Or a ho ho.
There's not many
Yo
ho hos. That's what I
There's a
tell the
few.
wife.
There's a no. The stats prove it as well.
Exactly.
So can't argue with the old YouTube stats because they are fact,
Factual.
true facts as opposed to false facts.
Another fact is we're on to our next tournament, baby.
How is this possible? We've only just finished the last one.
I know. Internet time is meshed all together.
Isn't it wonderful?
And we find ourselves in Stockport, the lovely town of. Although we never really see the town, we just go to Matty P's.
Yes, I mean that. I'm sure, isn't that a town in itself?
Matty P's. It has
its own economy.
Yes, absolutely. Ecosystem.
Yeah, and judging how we all felt ill afterwards, it was very contained. Less said about that, the better, I imagine. Absolutely. I'm still sounding slightly different as a result of that. But yeah, we've survived, and the channel goes on, so we must go on.
We must go on, as does the show. And the show starts at Stockport, round one, with myself taking a very peculiar army.
I mean, you weren't supposed to be going to tournaments anyway, were you?
Oh, so I know. This is part of it.
You managed to go to a tournament is sneaky.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's a nice little thumbnail. I like it.
And Element Games based, because we were, of course, battling in Element Games in Stockport, a very renowned place on the scene. And I was taking beast herds.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, a bit of a hobby project went on, and yeah, this is where we got to. Some heavy painting towards the end, as always. Now,
basing was one of your main focuses, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. It was a basing thing. I'm not sure I've actually got like a. I haven't included a picture. Maybe on one of the next ones, I'll put a close up.
I imagine there's going to be some pictures of your army throughout the next,
we'll see.
Reports. So one or two, maybe.
But I found myself up against Hugh Scarlin and his demons. But first,
for some reason, I was disappointed you didn't say Hugh Jackman.
Well,
Hugh Scarlin will do. Yeah, okay.
Scarlin. But he doesn't often play.
What, Jackman? You know
Not
that?
often. He does sometimes. I'm sure.
Yeah. Sorry, I'll stop interrupting with random things and let you tell the fans what they want to know about your list.
Why the hell would you take beasts? Well,
that is my question.
Yeah, so there's a few things that it's model based. I will put that down as a disclaimer. Mainly because it's also Leadership 8 general based.
Right.
Which is something I've never done before, but I did find very fun.
You have done Discipline 9, no BSB.
9 BSB? Probably.
Yeah. Come on, the first Art of War was Discipline 9, no BSB.
No, that was 10, it's elves.
Oh, well. Yeah, alright.
Yeah. I don't know, but I'm sure I have at some point. Probably warriors, because I don't think I often. Well, yeah, but anyway,
they never break from anything, so
Yeah, so so I had a load of models, predominantly Minotaurs actually, and some Wild Horn stuff. So they were easy fit in, and yeah, we could kind of fit around that. Obviously, we've got the Centaur Chieftain, Hawthorne Alchemist alloy guy, who is basically the bolt thrower thing that I really like. Kruger. I really like him, and
it was your first model you painted, wasn't
he? He is, and it was first of model I painted of the army that is like as well. This army I'm taking a lot more time over in terms of hobby as well, so as much detail and stuff as possible over each model. So yeah, he had to be in there. he was the first thing. Second thing, I'm also, as an aside, I'm also taking Beast Herds to an online tournament for, of course, Tommy T's list, which has loads of all the usual stuff. So the Beast Lord on a chariot, the Soothsayer chariot, and that takes shamanism as well. But
you didn't
so I wanted
have
to
those models, did you?
I didn't have that model, but I wanted to try Druidism, and I thought having him on foot with some mongrel raiders, I did that for this, would be a good idea to try out, because Druidism range is a bit funny, isn't it? A bit funky with all the.
Oh yes, sorry, funny, yeah.
Yeah. With all the from hills and stuff like that. So yeah. Minotaur Chieftain, Agor's Affliction. I believe this is the Mrs. Mino build from Kev.
Oh, right, okay.
Or something similar. And then 3 uprooted giants. Uprooted tree giants. Good. Yeah. That's which I just think, regardless of who they might be good against, I think they're the best choice anyway because it avoids giants hitting, which is their worst stat. So I don't see why it's free.
This calls for a top 3 giant types, surely. And uprooted tree has got to be in there, right?
I think it's the best, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I can't think of any other giant types.
Tower and shield for ID might be an interesting
quite
one.
Good. Yeah, it's quite good.
But anyway, I do think I think they're really, really good. I had some points left over, so one of them is a big brother, and otherwise it's the race test chariot to add some range. So yeah,
nice.
It's a smash build, not much range.
I love how add some range is actually charge range, not actual shooting range. You know,
no.
Add some charge range
as well. No, absolutely. And round 1, I found myself up against, I guess, similarly smash list in that regard. It's a Scourge. Scourge demons. Now, the good thing is I do have uprooted tree giants. Now, they are very good in this sort of matchup.
Take parry all you like.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm pretty happy in terms of the matchup. Obviously, with a Scourge, though, you either deal with it or it deals with you. I don't think it's an either or there. It's got some other things that Brazen Beasts and Veil Serpents that you tend to see. Hugh likes the Blazing Glory. I really like it as well. And otherwise, it's big unit Myrmidons, 2 units Succubi. So
he likes his Veil Serpents as well, doesn't he? They're kind of one of his go-tos.
Yeah, with the champion as well, specifically, so for extra spells and things. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. In terms of the deployment.
Oh, it was a fun one, wasn't it?
Yeah, all of them are different, so we will go into them. Basically, each of your units, to summarise, it is there if you want to really look at it in detail, but each of your units rolled separately, and you went 1 for 1 on putting them down. And depending on what they rolled on and what they were consisting of, which is all the text here, they ended up either in the left side, the right side, or in the centre. And you went 1 for 1 all the way. There was no drop in, the mission was breakthrough. So breakthrough is pretty cool for me. I quite like that. I just, in a weird way, I just don't want them to come down straight away because he's very quick and good lateral movement and stuff. However, I do want them to come on. So that is
before they lose scoring.
So some sort of.
So really, you've only got turns 2 and 3 to come on. So you turn 3 is the time
and 4
come on.
If they come on.
4 as well.
So we'll see how that plays out. But breakthrough, generally speaking, for some scoring ambushes is pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah.
As always, and as is tradition, I completely forgot to take any pictures whatsoever of the original deployment and such. So I'll move us and talk to you about how my first turn went. Because he's already started moving his stuff.
But we obviously need to bear in mind that you're not necessarily choosing exactly where your units are going because of the deployment.
But this is after deployment and after my turn. So I had 2 giants. The smaller ones ended up rolling on this side. I think he chose one of them. By the way, Hugh rolled literally all 6s. He couldn't have, it didn't affect him whatsoever. So he
just chose where everything he wanted
it to go. Yeah, absolutely. I think bar the Blazing Glory, who ended up that side. I think that was the only thing he had to put on anywhere in particular. So it was gravy. But so I had 2 giants on this side, my Riser Tusk Chariot on this side, then my left side as well. 2 of them have since moved over, and one of them has just come up here to basically keep them sirens that are up there honest. I got big unit of Minotaurs with no character in, unit of Minotaurs with a character in. They're now in the Sacred Seeded Forest that I put down. Thanks, Matty P. Lovely job.
Another legend.
Got some gargoyles who started off on the right-hand side that moved towards the centre a bit. The mongrels and the shaman are in this forest. But oh no, that's a ruins, I think, actually, in the end. But he is in the forest, so that I could get all the bonuses for being in there.
Cheeky.
And my big brother giant, as you can see, is already in combat, being charged by some poisoned veil serpents. They obviously get to choose whether it's agility, poison, or some other thing, and obviously they chose poison. So he's in combat with them, who's just been charged, and the Scourge has come up as backup, which is not bad backup, as things go. The other one, the main one that was a bit tricky for me is that these chariots got put on my right side, which basically ended where this card is, just here next to my mouse. So the only real way for them to actually get into the battle in any sort of speed was to go this side, but it ended up, because where my giant was, I think that was a 10. He needed to get in, but obviously he's super quick, so it's like everyone's destroyed, whatever. Anyway, so it doesn't really. If you don't want to get in, just don't leave them on. But yeah, so it meant that there was a huge traffic jam there in that regard. So yeah, so as we said, this is how I moved. I did get some magic off on the Minotaurs in the middle, which he let off and then dispelled the rest, which is fair enough. And then he is deployed like so. So we've got Sirens on the left, Blazing Glory, Succubi, Courtesan, Furies, then Myrmidons, Brazen Beasts, Succubi, and as we've seen, the Veil Serpents and Scourge over on the right hand side. So yeah, we're in. To be fair, obviously if it goes through the big giant and gets into the chariots, that's not great. And we've got my bunker there, so that's it was a decent charge. It was a decent charge first turn, should we say? Yeah, this is how he sort of moves up.
Krugar's hiding over there as well, next to you, giant. On the right.
Yes, he is. So this is after I've moved. Basically, I wanted him not to be able to charge in to Krugar specifically, and I thought, worst case scenario, I'm going to shoot at the Scourge, and I didn't leave an 18, I don't think, because he's movement swift for 10. But I was in 18 of Veil Serpents and did 1 wound to them with him, so that was cool. But they couldn't physically charge him where they were, because he couldn't then move to do it. So yeah, but they did get the big brother chat. So there you go. This is showing this and showing the wound I did with previously with Krugar. He does a spear or something. There's a few things. He has in there. Going in, he only does 2 wounds to me, baby, with all those poison. Just couldn't roll a 6 at all, which obviously is superb in this regard. Then I go back and do some wounds, but it's not letting me. It's not showing how many wounds. I go back and I think I do 6 wounds. I want to say with the auto hits, because I'm wounding on. I might be wounded on the 3s. But regardless, he goes in.
Set to strength 5. Set to strength 5?
Yeah, strength 5. I don't know whether he's res 4 or res 3.
I think so.
I can't remember.
I think so.
But regardless, I think I do like 6 wounds out of the 7, so pretty good wounding. He doesn't save a great deal, I don't think. I either kill 1 or a few, and we hold, basically, is the big thing here. Which means I can counter charge. Hooray! I charge his Sirens, who are the only thing in the demons that can flee. and they do exactly that. They choose to flee behind their lines. I charge into, I can't remember whether it was no, it was a front charge, I think. He made it a front. But if I can go through them in this turn, maybe I'll have a Scourge to charge in and die to. So there you
Something
go.
to look forward to.
Yeah. My giant over there does try a double 6 to get into the Succubi and fails. This giant comes over this way after taking yet even some more damage. I think it took another spear over there, so I think it's down to like 2 wounds left, which at this point isn't great because he'll be going first. So that's a bit of a, if you want me, come and get me, then get out of the game sort of thing.
Yeah.
And otherwise, I chaff, and you can see lots of line of sights. Courtesy of magnetic.com. Thank you very much. And so I chaff with the gargoyles. I move right up with the minotaurs, thinking let's just go because Succubi aren't great against minotaurs. They're good against standard height things. I've obviously charged in here. I move back with the light troops chariots.
Yeah, they're like, we don't want anything to do with that combat.
Well, the Scourge is
Tell us how it goes.
well. So if the Scourge, if I don't go into the Scourge with Krugar, then he will just fly over me and get in. So they're not in they're not in a great place really. I could have done with them in the middle, but hey ho. I get healing waters off on these guys just in case he wants to come in. I think he lets them off, and I go great. It means they're not going to be charged here, and that is a bit of a close up of a modelling thing there.
Yeah.
So we've got some the base and stuff like that, and some lovely minos there.
Absolutely beautiful work.
I don't know what this is, but it's showing. So this is like the long charge potential. Might be some magic, I'm not sure. But I think I do some wounds to Succubi through Master of Earth as well.
Okay.
So I get that one off. Over here, Krugar comes in and helps out, and with Krugar's help and a few more wounds taken, we go through them loads. We might have even both whiffed on the first turn, to be fair. But it certainly comes up trumps for the beasts. I go through them and I wipe them out. And Krugar
what a
missiles himself in. So come on, after doing, I think he has 4 attacks after doing like 2 wounds to help out the Veil Serpents and the charge, etc. Why not? Let's take on a Scourge and see what we got. Best thing about this is it holds him in place. So then my giant can go in with all those wounds done to him and see if he can mop up. So I'm hoping for 1 or 2 wounds with Krugar, and then as many wounds as I can with the big brother, just to scare the Scourge off from actually going into anything.
Yeah.
So that's the plan. Over here, the Succubi go into them, and that is goodbye some lovely based gargoyles there. So.
Fragrant as well.
Oh yes, very good. That's what you get for using maternity herbal tea. And there you go.
The journey up in the car was just the best smelling journey we've ever had, wasn't it?
It was quite. His Furies come up to do a similar job to chaff my Minos, but obviously these Minos are unchaffed, so I'm hoping that this could be a good area for me. Otherwise, he rallies his Sirens and moves them to there, and just kind of zones me on this side. Scared of the giant, but not in. But if he has like counter charges and multiple charges, then he's all right. So we're kind of holding each other off that side. And as you can see, the Veil Serpents are dead. So it's points, baby.
That is points. Great.
Over here,
who's who?
Don't know what this was.
Well, I mean,
it is
the
some
red
dice. It's showing not.
Is this about 2 bound spells, or
possibly?
No.
Oh yeah. So there's some bad dice
because the red dice do not outweigh
the
white dice.
No.
So
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what this is.
We're not showing less dice beating more.
Yeah, this is a few weeks ago now. I have no idea what it is.
Dice.
I'm sure.
Or is that 8 dice? None of them getting a 4 up.
I'm sure this came. Yeah, yes, maybe something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But what it did mean was that Krugar died. Always going to happen. For 3 wounds on the Scourge.
Okay.
Baby. 3 out of 4 wounds. So maybe it was something to do with Danger saves. I don't know. However, Kruger valiantly puts in a shift this turn, doing 3 wounds out of 7, I want to say. And only 4 wounds left to do. Fingers crossed, baby.
Yeah, nearly halfway.
Yeah. So this is showing that there is no way to get my impact hits in at the same time.
No, because you might have been tempted.
Yeah. It definitely would have been tempted to do both, but I can't even push the giant in as far on the right and get an impact hit because there is wheeling and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But he does go in. I put the Minos into the Furies. I put the Minos into the Succubi. And Hugh, very good player. Sort of position the Succubi as such to minimise my attacks on him and potentially mean that I don't go through that unit in one, and also leave it more than 12 inches away from those Brazen Beasts. And we know Brazen Beasts can do a job on the charge. Good use of that Succubi there. Although they are scoring, so I'm hoping that in terms of breakthrough, that will stop them coming forward. So we'll see how this affects things. As we said, the giant does go in and gets in like so. And this is after movement. I kind of move around like this. My fully fledged giant, fully wounds, goes up here. This one just comes over to this side again, bait in the quarters and to go that way for a spear. The Racer's Chariot, I think, charged, needing a 10. The Myrmidons. They charged the Sirens and then wanted to charge the Myrmidons afterwards, knowing that it would hopefully keep him in place because he hasn't got too many attacks. He has strength 5, but it's not the best AP. Thinking that if I can go in, do some impact hits and some wounds, then I'd keep him in place for the counter charge. But it wasn't to be, and that's fine. Otherwise, we move up like so. This bunker just moving as far away from the Scourge, and the Chariot's moving as far away from the Scourge as possible. Because if I don't kill the Scourge, it will kill me. So it's all or nothing with that big giant. You can see one of my units has come on, maybe both of them actually, on turn 3. Good. I think this is. So we're both on. I decided to put one here, and because he's got the Blazing Glory and the Succubi over on here, there was no real point coming this way. So I wanted to just see if I could throw in weapons, some Brazen Beasts, because they are going to be charging. So if I can get 4 wounds off on one, maybe. We should
that would be ambitious, but yeah.
Yeah, well, that's I've got to see if I can get them down in terms of numbers. I do get Healing Waters off on this unit, and Blooded Horn here to give me extra attacks, which I'm hoping will get me through this unit. I get 3 out of 4 wounds over here on one of them, so I only get them down. So I don't get them down men-wise, which means impact hits-wise means they're just as good because they will be going first as well. So that was close. They tried their best. Over here, the big giant goes in and does 1 wound, and now the wound.
Your hopeful tone confused me, and I was very slow to pick up on it. But you were bluffing me.
I was bluffing. Now the hopeful tone comes from the fact that I actually did 6 wounds to him.
Oh, here we go.
But demons being demons meant he saved 5 out of 6.
Only
Only 1 wound, which means he's still got 3 wounds on him, which is a bit.
Still 0 points for him.
He moves to face the back of my Minotaurs. So, yeah, that.
But the chariots are happy.
But the chariots are happy. Yeah. I do go through the Succubi, thankfully, because of the Blooded Horn. I move up out of line of sight of these and as far away as possible. I think I roll like a 10 or something. It might be a little bit less, but pretty far away from the Scourge, and I'm just facing up to the Brazen Beast. Now, I'm just hoping, I have got my BSB in there, I'm just hoping that I can do enough wounds back or him not kill me as much to go in. And over here, they've got Healing Waters. Can my 5-ups be as good as his, you know? This is how it looked.
Well, his were 4-ups, but yes, still.
Yeah. And to be fair, before that, he wasn't saving anything, so it's not really thing. But it was just like once I got to that
when
point,
it matters.
I was like, oh no, as if he's done 5 out of 6 on a 4-up. Anyway, Because I think if I do like even 3, even if I don't kill him, I don't think he goes into anything else.
No, he probably wouldn't even risk coming near some throwing weapons on some wild horns with only 1 or 2 wound left.
Over here, he charges and charges and charges, and we'll see how that goes. All of them get in because obviously he's super quick.
Yep.
He gets bubbled stars align off with this roll, and I just don't stand a chance to get rolls. It off. Yeah. I think I dispel
a bubble stars align as well. Jeez,
yeah,
that's nasty.
He throws 5 dice at it, which I thought I was like, oh, that's super close, man. That's super close. Over here, he does 9, 10 wounds, and I go back and do everything. So 4,
10. Got 4 wounds each, haven't they?
Yeah, but I'd already done 3, so I guess 7 wounds. I guess this is. But yeah, so the gnarled hide is actually -1 distracting, so that helped somewhat.
Yeah, you had blooded horn originally, and now gnarled hide.
Yeah, so there's that. But yeah, gutted not to kill him in the end. I think they rolled decent on their saves because then I could turn around and at least do stuff. But then I guess. Oh yeah, because it's my turn next. Over here, he goes in, does a similar woundage, and I think I only do 4 wounds back to him.
Ooh, that's a bit rough.
With that. But I guess I wasn't rolling any battle focus from what I remember, so it was attacks as. Over here, I need I need a 11 to get in, so let's go, baby.
Chariots. Yeah.
And as you can see, he breaks my Minotaur's overruns, and that's where he goes. He doesn't quite get into my Minotaur, so I think he just moves up 6 inches, which is why the charge was allowed. But unfortunately, I didn't get in, and that would have been. I think that would have been Scourge dead. But hey, we will never know. My mongrels have to. Yeah, my mongrels have to sacrifice themselves to stop the courtesan. And get out of line of sight of this. They need, I think, a 9 to get into there. Might be a bit less.
Yeah, now your chariots are thinking, how do we get away again?
But it's a really, really long charge there. And he has to come out on his own to try and survive the battle. Restus just comes up to face this way, and the giant that is fully fledged, now that the Brazen Beast is facing this way, not Brazen Beast, the Blazing Glory, is not scared of either of these units, so this brings it on, sort of thing. These guys face Blazing Glory to try and get as many wounds on him as possible, and we'll see how that goes. I get Summer Growth to regain some Minotaurs, which is always nice, and I get Gnarled Hide for the distracting on them in case he does go in, to limit what he does.
Yeah.
This is showing me mopping up.
In terms of breakthrough, you are 3-0.
3-0. Although the Myrmidons are very close.
Yeah.
Myrmidons down the bottom are very close. So let's say 3-1.
Okay.
So I mop up here. I do 2 wounds to the Blazing Glory, and yeah, I do make a bit of a faux pas though, in that these sirens are facing this way and not that way, and it's obvious when you think about it because it's 3 and 2. But if I go back, I think what I got in my head was that because these guys are facing this way because of the arc.
Yeah.
I know that this isn't an arc, but obviously because it was there, I thought they were both facing this way for some reason.
Right.
The models are facing this way, but it's obvious because it's 3 and 2. So yeah, it was one of those. So I was like, well, the Blazing Glory goes in, it's fine. But then he then charged with the sirens as well. I was like, oh yeah, they're facing that way, aren't they? But hey ho. So yeah, this showing the Brazen Beast dead, I think, and maybe another failed charge. Not sure. Oh no, if you go back, this is me being off the hill so that he can't see me.
Ah, clever.
This is showing it's just showing these guys as a close-up. I do have a fair amount of close-ups, to be fair. And chaffing. This is him, my terror test, I believe.
Okay, good. Solid.
So, which is very important because otherwise they're going to charge the general. So well done, mongrels. I don't know why they passed, if I'm honest.
No. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
their life choices need to be reanalyzed there.
So these guys basically fled the charge from the sirens and then fled again
Okay.
from the blazing glory, but
Right. You didn't
rolled
fancy
like
fighting out.
2 or 3. No, just because he goes first. Sirens are actually pretty decent against like regular things, which is that's why I fled really. A blazing glory, I think I'm all right. He's only got 3 wounds. It'll stick around.
Is that
but
the one that
Minotaurs
does D6 hit attacks?
I can't remember. I just remember thinking it'll be reduced.
Oh no, it's attacks equal to the amount of double the amount of wounds it's got.
I think
like
weapon skill and defensive
attacks.
skill is. I'm not sure what attacks is, but yeah. Anyway,
Okay.
I decided to flee, but I rolled like on both of them. Rolled like 2 and 3, I think, and didn't roll far. He caught me, and yeah, down to 2-1 in terms of objective.
Okay.
His succubi turn around this way just because they don't really care. And these these assignments might not have charged. Maybe he charged both and then he did it in order and then decided not to, I think. These guys did charge but failed the charge to get to there, and DTs mean they take some wounds. And otherwise the Scourge comes up to face this way. And obviously he's still got 3 wounds, and that's a lot to get through in terms of throwing weapons and things. But I've got throwing weapons. I've got 1, maybe 2 rounds of combat. I need a few 6s. Let's do this.
A few lucky 6s.
A few lucky 6s. There you go. Shows that. This is him going in. And some spellage. He's got Stars Align again.
He really needed Stars Align for that combat.
Yeah. And he obviously mops up and points this way. So it leaves my general alone, which is nice. It is my turn next, to be fair.
Yeah.
But I think where these guys moved was out of line of sight as well. So unfortunately for me, I can't even charge them back. It's a shame.
Yeah.
Over this way, I just move as far back as possible.
Back to the corner.
Yeah, my 1 remaining mongrel does actually keep fleeing, and I'm like, well, actually, he's in my flank. He can't get there. So if I can rally, or he fails a redirect check, either one of those, then we should be golden. So I've got another gambit. Maybe. Okay. This chariot goes into the side of the succubi who facing this way, and these minotaurs come over to help go against the Scourge. So let's see if I can do that. They don't mind the blazing glory in the rear, and this giant I think fails a 9 to get in to the rear.
Was the minotaur into the blazing glory not an option? Minotaur unit into the blazing glory?
I wanted to go this way because the Scourge has so many points. It's like 900 points or something. I wanted to go, well, if he gets me in the corner, then I want to get him back, basically.
Yeah. Okay.
I go through like impact hits, everything. I think I do like 8 wounds maybe in total with all his attacks and impact hits, and then just turn to face this way. They crumble off. Pretty happy with this scenario.
Yeah.
Over here, I do 1 more wound with throwing weapons, so he's now down to 2, and I also get +1 attack, blooded horn totem. So I've got so many attacks. I've got paired weapons. I've got all that jazz. Come on, we can do this. Might just be a duplicate thing there. He charges and flee. I flee, and then he charges and passes the redirect to get in. So needs like a 7. So we've still got a chance. He takes this charge on, wanting to get rid of them, hoping to terror check them, but Banner discipline, I think, means that. Or is that panic?
Get the reroll.
I'm not sure. Either way, they don't need the reroll, and they are bring it on, baby. They get in. Unfortunately, to only lose 2 to the DTs. Those chariots have not had a good game, and it's lights out, I'm afraid. This is showing you remaining moves. Courtesans come up onto the hill. Blazing Glory's there, both out of line of sight. And now that sort of leaves a bit of a scenario. If I go in, they might come in afterwards. And is that any good? I'm not sure. Simon's just come up just to look at the battle because this is, I believe, his 5. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Over here, he does so many wounds to me, and I don't do a single wound.
Oh man!
I just didn't roll any 6s, and I was like, oh. He also does a few wounds to them to knuckle them down as well, and then turns to face this way. Now I'm in a bit of a scenario where it's actually like I think it's just over 7 or something. It doesn't look it, but it's surprisingly, it's not a given. It might be a 7, I think, that I need to get into the Scourge at this point. And I'm like, if I fail that, I'm likely that it's game over. And I'm like, oh man, I really wanna charge, but it could all go wrong. So I'm in a bit of a dilemma and trying to work out what to do. So I decide that it's not quite worth the risk, and I still only need to do 1 wound to get half points on the Scourge.
Yep.
So if I can buff them up, then there's still a chance I could get at least half points and keep these guys safe. So you know what, it's worth it. Come on,
if he charges you, yeah.
Well, these guys.
What you were banking on the wild horns, right? Okay.
So the wild horns, yeah, you're going in. So I've moved out this way. I'm out line of sight the courtesan and the blazing glory. He's got 1 turn left. Even if he charges me with his scourge in the rear, I've got 3 minotaurs to do 2 wounds on him. I don't think he's doing that.
It'd be too risky. Yeah.
What isn't necessarily risky is this over here, but if it comes off. If it comes off, it's points, baby. But right now, I'm getting 0 points for the Scourge.
Yeah.
And I get 0 points for the Scourge. Because, again, I do 0, 6. I don't even make him roll. Damn it.
Oh,
and I'm like, come on, 2 rounds. Because I had, 15 attacks still. 16 attacks. Because I got the blooded horn.
Hit on 4s, wounding on 6s.
That's just not... Come on.
Yeah.
But it wasn't to be...
Was that 30 attacks overall? Oh no, it wasn't quite.
And throwing weapons, I think, and just
yeah.
Scourges. Just man, just so good. Because I was like, it's like I don't think he should survive what he survived. But anyway, he did.
Yeah.
And he's what you can't see in this picture is him putting the finger up to me.
Absolutely.
The Scourge, not Hugh. Hugh was a delight. I get Summer Growth.
I was happy with the Scourge, so yeah.
yeah. I get Summer Growth on just to make sure that he doesn't go in. Again, I'm still out of line, so he turns around like this, but it doesn't really matter. And that is the end of the game.
Yeah. Okay.
We drew objective. I had Minotaurs.
Okay. Yeah.
He had
Minotaurs and the Myrmidons. Yeah.
A decent amount of us, of everything dying. I didn't get the Scourge, which, as you can see, would have been my 10-10. Maybe even 11-9 to me. But that was my game changer. I guess if I'd have got him, he then would have might not have charged into my. Or might not have got there into my wild horns as well, so we won the objective. So, arguably, a 6-point swing either way. But yeah, it was a fun battle. I was pleased. This is my first battle with this BSS list. I was pleased that I was in the game. Giants were a big threat within it. I perhaps didn't use them to the best example, but he did do 6 wounds to one of my Giants turn 1. So that was annoying. But yeah. Really fun game. Nice to play Hugh as well. At tournament, we have played a few times before, I think, but this is possibly our first in real life tourney battle.
Okay.
So that was quite cool to do. But yeah, ended up 8-12. Not too dishappy, and we bring it on for round number 2.
Yeah, it's funny because you played Hugh in round 1 here. And I think he was desperate to play me in any of the rounds later on in this tournament.
Oh, right.
He wanted to play us both in one tournament.
Sure.
So he kept on coming over to me and how many points you got, Steph? I'm trying to work out if we were close. Spoiler alert, we never got close.
Yeah.
For various reasons, and I won't go into why. Because that'll be up to you guys to watch and find out. yeah, no, yeah, it's good fun. I don't think you did anything wrong there. That one was just one that the dice played it out the way it had to play out. Really,
I
wasn't
think so. Again, the deployment. If I'd had my chariots in the middle as a bit more of a threat, that would have been cool.
They could have joined your giants and done a bit more.
But saying that, if they had got the long charge into the scourge when they did, then that would have been lights out. I think so. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Happy enough with how everything performed. It's just down. Any demon list with a scourge is down to how the scourge saves. I think. I don't think there's anything else. Like, it wins your battles.
It really does. Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, I went against 2 of them against Chris Crawford recently. So yeah. Yeah, they're beastly fiends. Cool. All right, so that's round 1. A solid 8 points. Obviously, you'd like it to be a bit more than that, but it's not disastrous by any means. So you can go into round 2 and see where you are from there. All right. So also at the tournament was myself. I went to. Yay. I missed you at Cardiff.
OG.
So.
You were the OG. I was the tag along.
Well, true. Yeah, absolutely. But no, pleased to have you back. And so I was also bringing a different army to what I brought to Cardiff, wasn't I? So ogres.
Yes.
I mean, there's no point hiding that because we did a list review and I was ogres in that.
Yeah.
So people know.
It was like 2 weeks ago.
Exactly. It was like ages ago. So yeah, if you haven't found out by now you know.
Yeah.
Great. So we'll look at round 1 for ogres coming up. Yeah, my opponent changes the minute I get there. So any prep I did about what I was going to play, forget about it. Cool. We'll see you there then. Give us some comments on the beast herds, on the tea leaves, and on anything else you think Lucky Sixes might enjoy, because you never know what he's going to enjoy.
I like all the comments.
Yeah, we really do. All right, sweet. We'll see you the next one coming up soon.
Ta-ra!
No. Refuse. Back to normal, please.
Next time.